Hello, everyone. How's everybody?
Good.
Hey, Coach.
Yeah. Go ahead, we'll open it up to questions.
Hey, Coach. Hey, Steve Sargent, NJ.com. How are you?
Hi, Keith. I'm good. I'm great. I didn't hear the last game, the second name.
No, that's okay. I was just curious. What do you remember about your first game? I don't want to take you back too far, but obviously, what do you remember about your first game and even maybe your first win? Do you remember? It might even have been the same thing, but what do you remember about your first win?
I really don't know who, and I can't honestly say that I just remember that specifically. Who would know that I would have occasion to count that win amongst the many others that I would have in the future? It really didn't even occur to me. I just remember being excited every day. Sometimes, after when I would go home, because we lived in Delaware, when I would go home after the game, I would stop past it was like a Wawa or 7-Eleven, for lack of a better word, and then I would play the Pac-Man game because it just took the pressure out. I was so excited. Like, that was it. And just remember thinking to myself that I could wait until I could get home, and more importantly, until I can have practice again, because I would always want to look at the tape and make the corrections, and always felt that they were listening, they were ready, and it'll be better the next time. So I just remember being happy, very happy. Keep in mind that I didn't lose many games while at Cheney, and those players are driven. I mean, they were just driven to compete, and they were outstanding players in their skill set and the whole thing. But it was a beautiful thing because I knew at a very, very, very early stage in my life that it wasn't just basketball. Because we would talk to them in terms of what do you want to be when you grow up, and somebody might say I want to be a lawyer, and another one might say I want to be an accountant, and but just to continue to encourage them to not set their limits, really to set themselves with any limits, and I thought that a lot of students within the group would talk, for example, with the initial kids at Cheney, they would talk about joining a sorority, and I remember them saying, well, we don't have a sorority. Our sorority is Hoop Sci-Fi, which is our basketball sorority, and we took great pleasure in just noting that we didn't involve ourselves in anything else other than being a great student and being a good basketball player.
Coach Charles Harmon, Minnesota Spokes Recorder. Your legacy is already cemented in terms of things that you have done. So what does this 1,000 win really cement for you?
Well, I'm alive, right? So I think it is special. Honestly, when I even think about it, I remember hearing about another coach who had won 1,000 in high school. I thought to myself, wow, that's amazing. 1,000 games, you never did that. Then I remember when there was 800 or 700, and I just kept thinking it was just a lot of games and a lot of things that I've seen. It doesn't cement anything but that I've been blessed. I should stop and think and reflect all the time about the fact that that people have trusted me to coach their teams, that young ladies have given me and my staff a chance. Far more about me, because they just did, and they believed in me, and I thank God for that. I had one assistant at Cheney, and she was really the assistant director of admissions, and at the time I was telling them, we didn't have much. We didn't have a trainer, and we only had like 3 leather basketballs and that, and here we were, challenging and playing the powerhouses of the country, like so it's a Tennessee, it's a Penn State, it's a Maryland, and here we are with our 3,000 students. Did it really matter? No, and I would preach that. I loved it. It was like, and my assistant, she would just like to egg me on at times. She said, "Oh, you're the giant killer," and I believe that anything that you say. And I would tell her, I said, "Ann, one of these days, we're going to play in Madison Square Garden, and people are really going to come. They're going to pay to see us play." And when I think about that, even now, I laugh, and I remember that when I said that, she repeated that statement to someone else, and they said, and she followed it up by saying, "Well, if Vivian said that we're going to play in Madison Square Garden, doggone, that's what we're going to play," because what she says comes to, it becomes reality. I really appreciate people that appreciate the love that I have, and let me love this game as I have, provided for me and the grace opportunity. And it started off, first of all, with my husband, who is no doubt my biggest fan. And he just was in my family. In fact, my brother-in-law the other day, they had flown up from Iowa to see this game. And I said, "Man, I'm really glad that you guys came. Thanks a lot." And he's like, "What are you talking about? Are you kidding me? Do you know how many years this has been? You know what I mean? Like, we would miss this for the world. We've been with you right from the beginning." And it made me stop to think for a second. Wow. All those things. It's the great people. The great people, the administrators, the players, and the players who've always believed in. And just for me, I'm happy and I'm grateful that I had an opportunity and do have an opportunity to continue to somehow, shape the lives of these young women in this exciting age that we're going through right now, in this exciting time.
Say hello. Hello.
Oh.
Okay. DRB Walker, the Philadelphia Inquirer. Coach Stringer, I guess I would like to ask you, over your time period in the women's game, how would you describe what you have been able to do in terms of providing women equal opportunities, whether it's winning or the equal opportunities that you've been able to bring over to the women's game, if that makes sense, to push for that?
Yeah, that it came out quite like that in that same sense, but I think that I've always had it in my mind that you have to demonstrate. You don't ask for anything, you demonstrate, and you earn respect. And if you're going to earn respect, then you're going to have to work. I really did spend a lot of time studying the game, spent a lot of time being around my colleagues. I was just so excited to go to a clinic. We have that responsibility. We respect our kids enough that we're coaching to continue to promote, ourselves as coaches, and hopefully they'll either go into coaching or they'll transfer. That you just don't sit back and let things happen. You grab a hold of it and you make things happen. What I love about this game too is you can quickly you can so quickly be down, and yet you can find a way. You can overcome the things that you might be fearful of prior to the competition. I think that this game teaches you in so many ways how to be humble, how to be appreciative, how to be respectful of others. I think that I've been able to teach a lot of life lessons. As an example of just being humble, to not be disrespectful to the game or to other people. To do your best and to learn how to, when you lose, this is how you lose if you must. but this is the commitment that if we make this commitment, then this is what we need to do. To teach what it means to have, everybody rowing in the same direction, and ultimately getting to that special spot where you know that you're the best, where you really and truly know that. And that's what I've been a part of in history, because I've gotten a chance to hear pre-Title IX. Then I got a chance to, oh my God, there's an organization and they're having a tournament, a basketball tournament. And so all you got to do is get this $150 and send it to the organization, and then they'll look at your name, and maybe if you're good enough, you're going to be invited. Wow. Then I got a chance to, work hard and think, there's a group of people that are going to make selections. Well, you know what? It's important that throughout the course of the year, you get selected as one of the top 20, and maybe, when they decide who the people are that are going to celebrate this, you're one of those top 20 programs. I've seen it all. I have seen it all. And that I've got a chance to live through that. And find myself, fired up even more so than I was. Even if that's possible, it is.
Coach Stringer.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this is Shelley Till with the Big Ten Network.
Hi, Shelley. How are you?
I'm wonderful. So happy to be on this call with you today, and early pre-congratulations. I know we've talked a lot about this today, and you said a lot about how you just want to get it over. But you have been a person who has been a mentor to so many people in this game. Who would you say have been your greatest mentors?
Question. The people, persons who have encouraged me tremendously. Number one was my husband, all the time, always making me feel like I can do anything. He would brag about me, and I would just be embarrassed. It's almost like he would go out and pick a fight, and I was like, okay, you can do it. And it's like, Bill, stop. We can't do this. But the person, technically, the two people, technically, that gave me everything was Coach Cheney. He first of all, I have nothing but huge respect for the great teacher. So knowledgeable. That he, only that, I never got a chance to play on an organized team, a team basketball team. There are certain things. I watched my college coach, Dr. Ann Griffith, who meant the world to me. She and Coach Cheney and Dr. Zimmerman were the people that were coaches, and they showed me how, we would never be disrespectful and run the score up. We weren't trying to do that ever. We were trying to, build character, how to get better, but to never humiliate someone. I would never do that. In fact, I was playing my college coach. I was at Cheney, and so she reminded me several years ago. She said, "Vivian, you should have really run that score up, but I like the way you bothered to execute. You might have 5 or 6 passes, and I know that she's right. Sometimes some of us sometimes don't know what could happen, but she taught me that. But same thing with Coach Cheney. I remember asking he and Tony Coma. Coach Tony Coma was the athletic director at Cheney when I came, and he was the coach at Darwin Tech. Well, I wanted to know if I could sit in on the men's games, and men's practice, and because I wanted to learn, I wanted to know why they were able to move up and down the floor as quickly as they did, and to understand it. And so I wanted to know, but that for me was for me to sit there and watch it, And so I watched the Georgetown team, I watched Nolan Richardson. I took part in clinics, with Chuck Daly. I admired the heck out of the Immaculata team and Teresa Grinch and Kathy Rush, who was just a brilliant coach. And Reedy Portland. This was a hotbed of women's basketball. So, I think my mom and dad taught me a long time ago to know that nothing happens by accident. They have a great appreciation for those people that prepare for challenges, be it athletic or academic, when they reach those pinnacles, to know that everybody can't do that. And it meant a great deal for me to be a good student. Yes, it did. I have nothing but respect for people who have accomplished things. Because I know what it is to do that, and that's why I was saying I wanted to get a master's degree right away, because I wanted that robe, and I just wanted the robe and the velvet, the collar that I had, and that was there, because I knew that was a sense of you've accomplished some things. I just appreciate all of the wonderful people that I've been exposed to, and Chris Weller at Maryland. I mean, heck, really, we had big time rivalries. Harry Perretich down there at Villanova, and to have your colleagues greet you after a game, say, "Hey, that was brilliant. I love the way you did this." That's the way I wish it could be. That's the way it was. And if you think about it, I mean, none of us are inventors of the game. None of us are creators of the game. We all may have a different twist. We all have different levels of athletes that we're working with. And so I would be so excited. I just remember there's so many times that I would watch, for example, Penn State and Villanova coach, and make sure that I would be somewhere so that they could see me when they came off, and this is how I could say, wow, that was a heck of a game, and oftentimes wonder, because to me it's like the science of the game. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how to explain it other than when I say it's just not whatever. It's just not. It was just me. Technically, I just love the game, and I love talking the game. Of involving myself. When Coach Cheney would get into these heavy conversations, we would get our kids involved. It was much like a test match. But I wanted to do different from what maybe anyone else had ever seen. And so even before practice, get on the floor, we may be talking half an hour, 45 minutes before anybody is able to say a word. They're coming on practice, but they're standing there because he and I are doing X's and O's, challenging each other, and I would feel so good. I thought that's the way it should be. So I know that I attribute so much of my success to a great deal of guys that have been kind enough to teach me. So that they had confidence, and certainly, like I said, the assistant coaches and the players who.
Coach Stringer, this is Teresa Foster from ESPN Radio. You mentioned not too long ago that obviously winning or coming close to winning 1,000 games means playing a lot of games. What advice or words of encouragement would you offer to a young coach right now who may be struggling in their coaching career or thinks that it's going to take a while to get to where you are? What kind of advice would you give them to motivate them to continue coaching and continue on the road that they're on?
I think the big thing is that you really do have to love it with all your heart and with all the soul, because I can't give you that love. You got to love it. I don't know to this day what made my heart beat and what made me get so excited about just the opportunity to just sit there and watch a game, or can't wait until I can get a hamburger as I'm going down the road and we're going to see Penn State and Maryland play, or Rutgers. This is, and so what happens here, guys, today is that so many coaches, they have that love in their heart. There's so many elements that are taken away from it. and it hurts. And when I'm talking about taking away from it, it's the things that they can read that speak to negativity. It's the parents that sometimes get too goddamn involved. Let the kids have fun. Have coaches, hire coaches of integrity and that know what they're doing. Help these coaches, allow the coaches to help the players to see their progress. And to reward coaches to also understand that, yeah, it's a game, and I know that. I think 1,000 games will tell you. But I'm also talking about helping them to grow as women, as young women, to reach into far, to far corners of just basketball. Like I'm trying to talk to a young lady who I believe she's going to be a great politician, but I want to make sure she's aware. Reach out to the people, help people to make things happen. I want people to be responsible. And so I am so lucky that when I look at this, I'm thinking, well, thank goodness we are women at ESPN. So you're getting a chance to ask me that question. Think about that. We have an opportunity to help young women to get their degrees. Who knows what areas they're going to go in. But there's so many lessons along the way that they're going to learn. And so to the young coach, don't be discouraged, but make one move. One, you've got to have an athletic director. Got to have a president of the university who believe in you. This is what I said. Because if you don't, you will be ruined. I promise you. Because there is not that much talent or forgiveness, because people, unfortunately, are short-lived in the praise that they give. They forget what it took to get there. And so, give everything you can, and here's the key. The athletic directors, I've been very fortunate that I've had the directors who believed in me. Very fortunate that I've had presidents who have believed in me. Because if you do the right thing, there's not that much, there is no way you could beat into or make a person study anymore. You do or you don't. If you believe in them, trust them, and support them. If not, then fire them. In the meantime, it's not about how much you get paid, coaches. It's about what you do, the love that you have, and then there's no measure. You can get up 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're so excited you're going to study and you're going to look at the tape again. I mean, I did this for 11 years. I didn't get paid a dime. I could kiss them. I was grateful. I'm so glad. Thank you for allowing me to touch your young ladies. I promise you I do. I think that when you go to a school whose academic reputation, is second to none, and you don't have to, feel embarrassed because the program is not supporting you, then you're like, wow, you feel good because I'm giving this young person an opportunity to get a great education, and and an opportunity to fulfill her dreams of being the best player that she can possibly be. So I really and truly know that the other thing that the assistant coach, that the head coach must do is don't read the press. Don't read the press. This is not Donald Trump or fake press either. Okay? Just saying. I'm just saying. We have to be patient. We have to be patient. And when you get people that trust in you, believe in you, and they're professional enough, they know how to, nurture, bring you along, then that's going to be key. And that's hard. I mean, you can't guess right all the time. But when I say a university that cares about you, it's better to take less money and to have people that genuinely care. And honestly, the most perfect example I can give to you is when I went to Iowa. I swear, everybody talked to me about what I could do for them. So whether it was Penn State, it was Duke, it was Penn State, it was Kentucky, all those that people call it USC. But the only reason, I don't even know anybody in Iowa. I did not know anyone in Iowa. But the thing that I thought that impressed us, because you keep in mind that when we had played for the first national championship, my daughter was stricken with meningitis, and she would never walk or talk again in life. We were lucky. But the thing about it is, I needed to be at a university where they had primary and tertiary care, so that if something happened, because my daughter has had major surgeries. So what ends up happening is, you know that they just brought me to the boardroom, and some of the doctors, the head of their different departments, assured me that they were going to look after, and that's what's most important. Just people that care. You know, how did I know that Dr. Grant, I loved her? How did I know? How did my husband and I know that we would take our chance, our family, take a chance, and bring our family from Iowa here? It was a feeling that we had, you know? So it's important. We're all human beings. That's all I'm saying. Athletic directors, presidents of the universities, we're all human beings. Coaches, you know, I think that if you can trust them and you can believe them, you know, really, then that may be the first step.
Coach, hey, Steve Politi from the Star Ledger. How you doing?
Hey, Steve, how are you?
Good, thanks. Good. I want to ask you to drop some names here. Who are some people who've gotten in touch with you over the last couple of days to wish you luck? Anybody prominent, famous that you could tell us?
Nobody cares about me. I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I don't. You know what? They are. I don't know who they are. The biggest, happiest moments of my life is when my two sisters from Iowa, and two my sister and brother from Georgia, and my brother. That's what I was most happy about. Because see, I was so nervous about that second game. I can tell you. I thought, my God, if we lose that second game, and everybody's wasted their money for the ticket and everything else, I didn't want that. My friends at Iowa, you know, past assistant coaches sent me a text and said, you know, that we're the greatest staff that you ever had, and all that. But I just don't want people to be disappointed. I don't know of anybody else. Maybe you'll tell them to tweet out, and we'll see what happens. I'm serious. I don't know.
Coach Stringer? Okay, if we have no other questions, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. For anyone who joined the conference call late, there will be audio available later this afternoon, and I'll be emailing that out to the blast list that I have. Thanks, everybody, for joining in today, and we look forward to seeing you at the rack tomorrow for what should be the historic 1,000th win. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.